Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in the world, and welcome to another edition of Living World of Darkness, The Fallen Apple, or The Demon Venue. Our scene is going to be one of intrigue and mystery and darkness. It has been about 72 hours since Robert Cox, the doctor, lapsed into a coma. And it's at this point that the doctors have finally decided, in accordance with his living will, to pull the plug. We'll get to Dr. Cox in a minute, or what was left of him. As we put ourselves in an area that is frequented by those that like the club scene, the places where people go to forget about life for a while, dance, grind, drink, do various types of illegal substances, if that is what their poison in, or their poison of choice is. It's hard to say. But we come to Daja Taylor leaving a club after getting her fill of that scene this evening. And what is Miss Taylor doing as she's leaving a club that was at best mediocre?
She probably finished walking out the door, tucking her notebook into her backpack, taking one look back upon it, kind of snorting to herself in disapproval of the lack of rhymes that those people happen to have and how she'll do it better, and walk off towards the closest coffee shop, kind of sit by herself and people watch.
As you're sitting there, people watching, roll me a perception and alertness, please.
Let me get the dice up. Wow, yes please. What is it? I'm sorry, I haven't done anything on this computer yet with anything.
Wow. Damn. Okay.
Yeah,
Daja, you notice somebody catches your eye. She stands out in a crowd more so than most. Her various accoutrements dangling off of her certainly get your attention. And as you get to the point where you're actually looking directly at her, as your eyes focus in on her, she seems to be standing there across the street, looking back at you, intently staring directly at you. You can almost feel as though her eyes, her pupils, are lined up perfectly with yours. And she stands there as people walk past.
am I capable of doing a zone sense demon, so to speak?
She hasn't done anything infernal just yet.
Yeah, but I believe you can kind of do the roll just to
You
sense
could
if there's somebody in
roll.
there.
You could roll some intuition if you want. Intelligence, intuition. That I'd be okay with.
There we go.
Okay. There's certainly something that picks at the back of your mind. The way she's staring at you, it has purpose. And your instinct certainly tells you this. You can hear it in the back of your head, that infernal voice, that know-how, that just seems to almost drive right to the center of your mind, and it says, this is something I need to check into.
What's she look like?
Um, she stands there with a leather jacket, with a hoodie underneath of it, sort of the vapor trails rolling out of her between her lips and her nose. She's got various long earrings and necklaces that hang off of her, a multitude of crosses worked into these. But what you notice more than anything else is her eyes. Her eyes are almost celestial in the way that they seem to almost catch the light. Even though you're a good distance away, you can almost see star fields in the actual irises themselves.
She will stand up, pretty much acknowledging that she's staring at her, and rather than back down from a challenge, just kind of look across the set of the crowd and do the head nod where you take the chin and you chin it up rather than, the downwards nod, and say, well, you gonna stand there all night, or are you gonna come over here? You look like you need a cup of coffee. Hey, Betsy, two over here.
The woman just smirks, and her hand gesture, you notice, as she points behind her and she turns on her heel. And again, your intuition says something. Follow. There's that compulsion, as if fate is working with this individual you're looking at.
She's gonna let her go for a little bit. Take the coffee that she's managed to order. Slightly pissed that this girl turned her up on her very hospitable offer of a free cup of fucking Joe in the city of the Big Apple. And throw her change on the table after drinking it, probably faster than she normally would. But after she finishes with that, she'll walk back out and look around a little bit to see if she's taken off or follow the trail after that. But she's gonna play it cool. She's not gonna just get up and follow this bitch's beckon.
You're not exactly sure what it is, but you can almost make me a perception and awareness or intuition, whichever you have more of.
Got one there.
Okay. It's very faint, but it's almost as if you can see a gossamer, sort of very pale, sort of what looks to be like thread that sort of floats in the wind, almost like it were made out of a very fine spider web, in a way, the way it floats, but it certainly has substance to it, more like thread itself, and it's very pale, and you almost don't see it just because you didn't score over 2 successes or more, but it's definitely there. It's sometimes when it moves, you have a hard time seeing it, but there's definitely something there to see, and it seems to go in the direction that she went.
She's gonna look at it when she notices it, kind of wiggle her around a little bit and say, for fuck's sake, madre de Dios, this shit just keeps getting weirder and weirder. God damn, can't get no break. And she'll kind of kick her foot into the ground and then say, oh, fuck it. And head off to kind of carefully follow it, but making sure that she's not getting trailed by anybody.
Okay. We're going to pause with you there, and we are going to go to a man sitting... Okay. A man sitting on the stoop of his home. Just outside on sort of the stairs that lead into his apartment building, for one reason or another, getting a breath of fresh air. His mind put at ease over over family matters, essentially. Tyler sits out there in the cold, taking in the crisp pre-winter air. What is Tyler up to while he's sitting out there?
Has rescued his wife a few days ago from not knowing he could do that, and now that he has her safe and she's back to being her beautiful and happy self, he is just has taken the time to go outside and just think to himself what has been happening, what has happened in the past.
Nelson, bud, you need to check your mic. I'm having a really hard time hearing you.
Yeah.
Is that better?
A little bit. Say something again, real quick.
Hello?
That's better.
Yeah, so he's after having taken he's now taking some time to be outside on his own to think back about what happened on the last well, it's been a week around that. But, he's a demon, and now he has the ability to save people's lives. His wife in the um in the house or something, and he's just taking back.
We're
Oh,
losing you again, bud. Why don't you take a minute to get your mic worked out? We are going to go over to Duncan while you try and fix that. Okay. Schlistices.
Yeah.
Your body has finally given out. Dr. Cox is taking the last few heartbeats that he will ever take. His body, this host body, this shell of yours, pushed to its limit and being lost up in what you experienced. You weren't able to correct what was going on with it. And so you find yourself waking up as almost if by some lucky draw of fate you have ended up somewhere else. You feel sensation, you feel cold air with heat not too far away. You're laying on the ground, and as you are laying there, as you open your eyes, as you think as Callistes, suddenly you are overwhelmed by a lifetime of memories, nearly 2 decades worth, of someone else, and someone else that feels so very close to you, you feel like you've known them your whole life. And you realize very quickly that you are not in the body you had started in.
No. Kind of guilt and the self-loathing of Robert, the doctor, has evaporated and replaced with a hunger. Multiple kinds of hunger, actually, not least simply the fact that this body has not eaten for a while, but the hunger to keep going, to stay alive in a rather desperate situation. And the body is that of a broadly homeless 19-year-old girl by the name of Naomi, who is currently freezing in the rain in an alleyway. Bleeding slightly from possibly where she's just been stabbed, given that she's in the position where she could be possessed by a demon.
There's a moment where you feel a presence, a familiar one. Not the one that you've been relying on for some time now, but as you look up, you will see a woman you've met once before, leaned against a wall, smoking a cigarette, and glancing in your direction.
The eyes will blink a few times as they reopen. Well, they'll reopen, blink a few times, pushing away the remnants of the tears of a body that thought it was at its end, and the rain pouring down on her face. As she slowly adjusts, takes a few moments as the memories, just to make a sense of the two consciousnesses blending. Layla.
I see that your mind isn't completely gone.
No. And tries to move and winces as his wounded body before putting his hand to her stomach and binding a wound closed.
I had wondered if you were ever going to come back from that place. I kept very close tabs on you while you were staying as a ward of the state.
You knew where. Why didn't you do something?
You were having an experience, my friend.
That experience. I just died again. I saw a world end. Don't need to see that several times.
Now you know what we're up against.
Do you know what I saw at the end?
I had a patron tell me much. You know her as well.
Can we get some food? And crap. She'll look down at her top, which is torn, stained with blood.
Layla will walk over and zip up the jacket that Naomi has and simply pat her on the shoulder. I'm afraid I don't have time to take you out for dinner. You'll have to deal with it for now.
Okay. She puts her hand down and starts looking about for a bag before realizing that She was mugged, and her very, very few possessions have recently been taken from her. Shit. Fuck.
That's one way to put it. Layla's hand will place something in Naomi's. It's an address, and it's a time. Be there. Or let this world suffer a fate similar to what you saw in Atlan.
Right. Okay. Guess not got anything else to do.
I would imagine not, given your host. And with that, Layla walks away a few steps towards a service door to a restaurant.
Yep.
Touches it, and walks through the door, and a moment, almost instantly, as soon as the door shuts behind her, the door comes open again as a busboy is bringing trash out to throw in a dumpster nearby where you're currently prostrated.
And yeah, Naomi's eyes will kind of light up. She's about to be go dumpster diving.
And so we go, as Naomi goes to get food out of a dumpster, we go back to see if Taylor is with us in full.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Hello? Hello?
There we go.
Oh, here we go. So, yes, Paolo is outside thinking back on what has been going on in the last few days, realizing he's a demon and that apparently God is an asshole. And yes, he could well jump off buildings and survive, and he also could save people. Like he just saved his wife, who is now resting, and he is thinking all of that while he is outside, just standing there, leaning against the door.
Roll me your intelligence intuition, please.
Intelligence, intuition.
Yes.
The where's the intuition? Wait, I never remembered.
It's on the sheet. You may not have taken it. I will take...
It's a ability?
It is a talent, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have it.
Alright then. I will take your intelligence awareness, or let's say perception awareness, difficulty 7 though.
Perception. Okay. No, yeah, I got 2 successes.
Okay. With 2 successes, you can see what looks to be like a gossamer thread hanging in midair, and as people walking down the street pass by it, they walk through it, and it almost moves like smoke, but quickly fixes itself. And you can almost see a tag hanging from it that simply says on it, "Follow me."
It will make sure the door is open, and then we'll proceed to get tagged. Get tagged.
Okay.
Hello?
Also, Nelson, your mic is still cutting in and out. At times it's really good, at times it's fairly poor. I'm wondering if maybe it's a connection. You may want to try and drop your bandwidth down all the way.
It's already down all the way.
Okay.
Oh wait, there we go. Well, I don't have a cam, but here it is.
Your audio seems to have gotten better, though.
Okay.
Okay. So, we move forward, and it's at this point that, Daja, you follow this thread as you come down a main street. Naomi, you come down an adjacent street, and Tyler, you come down the street directly across from Daja. All three of you converging at the exact same time in a very lonely section of street that has been left in some disarray.
She's gonna move and pass as she probably almost, just bumped into someone by accident, probably not paying too much attention to them, and more so kind of following what she thinks she's seeing in her head. As she like bumps into the gentleman, looks up and then looks kind of back away shyly. Oh no, excuse me, sir. No, sorry. Don't mean no trouble. I'll mind my way. And go to kind of pass by him slowly.
Tyler will look around and he'll see if there's anything around here that's supposed to be. Hello?
Hello?
I'm wondering if it's a hardware issue for you, buddy.
It's still going off and on again?
Yeah, it's going in and out. Are you using something like through USB?
Nope.
No? Is it the built-in mic?
Yeah.
It may be dying. We'll try and work with you as best we can, okay?
Okay.
So,
Does it seem like the cable kind of stops here?
Yes. Tyler and Daja, you will notice that the two sort of trails of smoke or threads of smoke have stopped at this intersection that has no traffic going through it, no foot traffic. There's only the three of you. Naomi, you notice that there were two other individuals that arrived at precisely the time you did.
She will, abandon street, just, she will, stick a hood over her head, and duck into her, and, try and duck into a doorway and look like she's smoking.
Daja, you notice somebody sort of sheepishly duck away from you the moment that they notice you.
She's about the same, just like an animal that doesn't know if something's gonna jump out and get her. When she bumped into the gentleman and sees somebody else and, just gets taken by surprise, she kind of just shuts back up, pulls the rest of her jacket back around her, apologizes to the guy, and kind of walks back off down past a taxi or something, just to avoid confrontation.
You notice that as you walk past the taxi, you certainly feel something is amiss. And when you turn to check, you notice that you are now on the opposite side of the street, standing behind the man that you nearly bumped into. And Naomi, you will notice that as she walks down one end of the street, for some reason you feel that hold on reality, something that you recognize from your experience last evening, ripple slightly. And when you look, she is behind where Tyler is standing.
Okay. Can I do perception awareness to see what's at play here?
Roll me your perception legacy.
That's a better dice pool. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You remember the feeling of that ritual that you witnessed last evening when that world began to break apart. You feel a very similar signature of the forces of reality and those forces of oblivion interacting and causing very strange effects, like what you had when you attempted to fly towards the platform last evening.
She will crouch further into her doorway and shrink away slightly and nervously watch.
At this point, I was just like, no, y'all, no, looking, this was not where she was before. She's gonna freak the fuck out and attempt to get away.
Alright, which way are you running? You have all 4 cardinal directions to go.
Well, if I'm behind the guy, I'm gonna go the opposite turn around and go the opposite direction with a nice little hurried walk.
Alright. Make me a perception and awareness.
4.
Oh yeah, you feel it the second you step in the opposite direction and get past a threshold. You suddenly look and there is Tyler directly across from you once again.
At this point, she's just gonna spin back around, pull a pretty crappy like switchblade out of her pocket and hold it in her right hand and go, "All right, now, man, what kind of crazy shit you pulling here? 'Cause this ain't normal."
Sebastian will look at her and raise an eyebrow and say, I have literally no idea what you are talking about.
Tyler, you've noticed that this woman has appeared in front of you, and then behind you, and is now in front of you again.
She's like, "I don't want no trouble. I ain't here for none of this trouble. I'm trying to just walk away, mind my own damn business. But I'm up in here, and then all of a sudden I'm back and turn around at you. What is it? What is it?"
He always looks strangely and goes, you've been appearing in front and back towards me over and over again.
She's like, "That ain't real. That shit don't happen. You working some kind of voodoo or something." And she's gonna go to try to like walk away again because first concern is protect your body.
Which way are you going? North, south, east, or west?
Let's just pick one of the sideways ones from where I went before.
You've been going north to south.
All right, let's go east.
Alright, when you go east, you step through and you're now near the building corner where Naomi is currently cowering.
As in, it seems like it's just teleporting you to the other side.
Not really teleporting. I don't know how else to explain it, though. The old side-scroller games where you would run to one side of the screen and you'd come out the other.
Yeah.
There is no real, like, portal passage sort of thing. It just seems that it's almost like non-proper geometry is somehow in effect here. I forget what you call it. I think it's
non-Euclidean geometry.
So it's sort of like we've got a tesseract going on at this point.
It's a straight line, but on a non-linear plane.
Yes. So there's definitely something non-Euclidean, however you pronounce it. Uh, there is definitely something wrong here with the way that this world is connecting from one point to another. Almost like a bit of hypergeometry going. But you notice this very clear and very presently. You can feel the supernatural forces at work, Daja.
She's like, nah, dog, nah, I give up, I quit, I am not playing this game, and just sits the fuck down in a corner.
And you were,
Also, Tyler will move towards the Sasha bed, and she'll like move towards her and does he see the other girl?
yes, I would assume that Daja has now just sat down in the same doorway. It has become the cower corner.
He'll move towards them.
Can I, like... Right, okay, so this woman is clearly not as freaked out by reality being warped around her as a normal human being would.
No, she's looking freaked out.
Yeah, Sebastian moves slowly towards him, like he is showing that he means no harm. And
You mean
he'll
Tyler?
say, "Oh yeah, Tyler, sorry,
Um,
many venues." And he'll say, "I think
yeah, as
what's
you're
asking."
coming towards us, and as someone who's come into her little doorway, Naomi will jump out of the doorway, put a hand into a jacket pocket, just get the fuck out of here, cocksuckers! I'll cut your fucking eyes out. Fuck off.
Bitch, I've been trying to get the fuck out of here. I keep popping up on the other goddamn sites. If you got a better fucking idea, you tell me how to get the fuck out of here. Because I'd love to peace out and have you a good day.
It's at that point that Naomi backs into Layla, who's standing there, seemingly coming out of nowhere. Well, aren't the three of you getting along nicely?
What the fuck?
What the fuck,
You want to fucking
indeed?
tell people before you fucking jump out like that? Fuck.
Madre de Dios.
God has nothing to do with this, Miss Taylor.
Who the fuck is you?
Introductions. My name is Layla O'Dodd. And I need your help.
Go on.
Well, freaking people out ain't a very good way to ask for it.
Believe it or not, this is not me.
Yeah, whatever happened to buying someone a freaking sandwich?
I tried to buy this bitch a coffee and she walked the fuck out on me.
Unfortunately, time is not something I have an abundance of at the moment. She staples her fingers in front of her mouth. I have to apologize for not giving you proper warning, but I felt that if you knew what was going on here, you might elect not to come, and I can't have that.
Well, maybe you should tell us now.
You seem to know I was turning up.
Well, given that you owe certain debts of gratitude for giving you knowledge that will help you achieve your ultimate goals, I am certain that you would have shown up either way. To put it bluntly, you three, there are things trying to work their way into this world. things that do not belong here, things that are dangerous. And this goes beyond the realm of spirits of the dead or even ancient agents of more sinister factions. I'm not sure how many of you are cognizant of who and what you are, but each one of you is a member of the fallen host. Lucifer's defiant horde.
Tyler will raise an eyebrow. He'll say, "What the hell do you mean?"
Layla will look over to Naomi and then look over to Daja with discerning eyes to gauge their reactions.
Naomi knows what Layla is, obviously, and knows what she is. So, what, you know these two? Are they new? What?
A bit more fresh than you. Not by much, but a bit. She looks in Daja's direction. Miss Taylor, how long have you been out of the pit?
Girl, how you know my name?
I know many things. It's part of what I do. It's part of what I do well.
That's like asking somebody how many people you slept with on a first date.
Well, your sexual machinations are none of my concern. I'm more interested in what you know and how much you know. I'm going to assume that you know that you're different from the average person walking around on the street. And not in
Anybody else
a...
gotta know nothing. My business, my business.
Well, your business could potentially save this world a lot of trouble. If you're willing to step out of your comfort zone and share with me.
Yeah, somebody else can go and sing Kumbaya first. Don't mind me if I've been bit one too many times to trust the dog.
An elegant way of putting it, I suppose.
You know, hellhounds and all that.
That's almost poetic. My friend here, she looks at her for a moment. Naomi now, yes?
That's right.
She's met me before. I go by Layla, though I have another name. One that is more celestial in nature, let's say. In the time before, my name was Gar Asok, a member of the Nebaru. I was a master of space and time. And I'm very sensitive to what has been going on ever since certain aspects of our creation began to wake up again.
Like the stone.
The stones are part of it, yes. There is forces at work from a place outside of this existence that are desperately trying to make their way in. And because I care about this place, I want to prevent that. And I'm hoping that the three of you will assist me in that endeavor. This little sort of convergence here is a small crack in reality. Almost 30 people have walked into this and been lost. And in this rift is getting wider every second of every day. Small for now, but it will accelerate if not dealt with. I have brought the three of you together to see if you're capable of handling this disturbance. Certain ties I have to the threads of fate allow me to see which ones are a bit more exceptional than others. And the three of you are certainly exceptional.
So what? We're expected to lock this thing down? Last time I saw something like this, it was destroying a world.
The last time you saw something like this was when the problem had already reached its fever pitch. Here we are a bit more ahead of the curve.
So what do we do? Kill people?
Well, she points to the door that currently Daja is sort of sat in front of. In the basement there is something crawling through the strands of reality as we speak. You simply need to go down there and deal with it. If you're capable of defeating it, then you can be of use to me. If not, no one will blame you for running away.
You bring this to us, not like... There's bigger people. You know there's bigger people in the city than the three of us.
I do know. And they have their parts to play. But it is very hard for someone amongst the reconcilers to gain favor with Faustians and Luciferians. But I'm beginning to realize more and more that factions are going to be our downfall. I'm hoping that you are willing to work with me and solve this problem.
So this is a test to see if we can save the world. I'm a fucking author. I didn't sign up for this shit.
Well, there's one.
Guys, don't get me wrong, I'll do it, but geez, like I said, I was an author. I'm an author. It's not.
Well, you can just sit there and let this problem get bigger, and your lovely wife could end up being host to one of these creatures. You just got her back. Are you willing to let that fall away from you?
You should if you know what's good for you. Can't be around anything you love. I'm just gonna get hurt.
He'll look to the girl that said that, and he'll say, "Please, don't talk about her. Don't talk about her. Don't talk about my wife. My wife."
Layla smirks. I am just simply stating that I have seen many outcomes of what happens if this problem goes unchecked.
He'll say, "I'll save this world if it needs saving." Like I said, I really didn't think. Wait. Hello?
Yeah, you're going in and out again.
Right.
Layla will look over to Daja. Certainly self-preservation has to be...
Yeah, he'll say, um, I just never thought I'd be saving the world. That's something new.
You still can't really understand what he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
Might be time to invest in a headset, my friend.
Yep.
Fuck saving the world right now. I just want to get my ass out of this goddamn Bermuda Triangle. Who the fuck do I gotta kill in there to take care of this?
I just want a sandwich. And possibly somewhere warm.
Well, you can have the coffee that I tried to buy for this one, and she'll look over at the celestial-eyed one. If we manage to make it out of this little death trap.
Her hands kind of go up. The gesture was appreciated. Timing was an issue. I had to go collect this one, and she points to Tyler, and this one, and points to Naomi, and you. And even though I have many tricks up my sleeve, it is still difficult to be in 3 places at once.
She's reached into her backpack and ends up whipping out like a chocolate peanut butter power bar and like tosses it over at the blue-haired girl.
She, like, nigh on animalistically, grabs it, rips it open, and scoffs it down. Thanks.
So one problem solved then?
Yeah. Now I'm just helping someone who's too busy watching a girl bleed out on the street to do anything. What are we supposed to do?
Fix the problem. And she'll tap the door and open it.
She'll look over at her. Blue-haired girl is kind of bloodied up and stuff, right?
You can't see it, like, her jacket's, like, properly zipped up, and she's kind of hunched over.
She'll say,
She's probably actually got, like, blood on her, like, on...
Hands?
Blood on the hands, blood on the leggings.
she'll bend over and say, you got blood on you. That ain't something that someone your age is supposed to see. And like for the first time probably like putting down a little bit, but less of a defensive role than what she's had, she'll kind of bend over towards the slightly younger girl and just go, here, let me see. And she'll pull her backpack out and over, and there's actually kind of some herbs and things in the backpack. There's probably a little satchel. There's probably also a couple sets of some bones and things. Weird conglomeration of stuff. I might be able to fix something. I have some dots in medicine. I'd be happy to make some rolls, Vinny.
Go for it, yeah.
Like, Naomi will be like, she'll look slightly nervous a bit, and then she'll unzip her jacket, and her top underneath is torn. But she'll kind of show you there's not really any wound there anymore. Like, that's not a problem. I can fix myself. Clothes, more of a problem.
Can't was look at the vision go. He also says you need a place to stay.
Maybe. The shelter probably won't let me in like this.
Yeah, he'll say, "Yo, me and my wife."
Okay.
Well, you don't need no fixing up then. Buck up and let's get out of here.
You notice that as you say that Layla is simply absent in the time that it took the three of you to interact.
Well, that's kind of rude.
I know, right? Girl actually was raised in a barn.
She's weird. I'll tell you later.
So apparently we have a big bad monster to kill.
Yeah, let you know, I'll introduce ourselves. I'm Naomi, now, Nay, apparently. Before I was Shalistices, the second house. And
Go on.
also recently I was Robert, but he's gone. But I know some other people in the city, like us.
My name is Tyler Norton. I was once rather zealous.
She just like gets up off of her knee and tucks the rest of stuff back in the backpack.
That name.
Daja.
That name might ring a bell, for I have Eminent 2 and I have Famous Liege.
Okay, I have Legacy 4. So
Let's have Daja and Naomi roll their intelligence and legacy.
Okay.
Ooh. Daja's on point. Naomi's extremely on point. You have heard of this median level Slayer? You remember hearing about in the time of the rebellion about a Halaku, a slayer that had been charged with seeing to the dangerous creatures and dangerous plants when it was time for them to expire, when it was time for them to make room for what was new. He was one of the number that stepped in to fill that gap and to take such dangerous things across to the other side.
okay. Which legion?
I am of the 7th house.
No, I mean which legion in the war?
Oh, that was, I don't really know. The Game Master.
I know, and it'll be worked out.
Yeah, you'll know when it gets worked out.
Okay. Hey, there's other Halaku in the city as well.
I've heard.
And Daja, What were
She'll
you?
look up. So dodge is good enough. It's about what I know.
Say so. Then
The three of you begin to get a feeling of unease emanating up from the storefront that Layla had opened up several minutes ago.
Um, Tana will look for like a bottle or something to use as a weapon, for he probably doesn't have anything right now. Hello.
There we go. Now we got you.
Okay. So yeah, Tana will look for like a glass or something for even a broken knife or something to use as a weapon.
yeah, Naomi will be doing the exact same thing as I imagine her shiv was taken from her when she was mugged and died. So, in fact, I'll just say, well, yeah, she'll look for anything like a shard of broken glass.
Got my
Well.
crappy switchblade.
Oh, this is going to be one of those kinds of encounters. Okay. You guys step into the storefront, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Provided someone else leads the way.
Well, who is going to be the tank in this group?
Yeah, I guess the only guy.
Not me.
Fair enough. Then, Tyler, you're the first one in. And you notice that the store is for the most part unspoiled. But you do notice that it almost seems like when you look at any given object within inside the store, it almost seems like it's vibrating in a way that almost looks like you're looking at it through distorted video, if that makes any sense. It almost looks as if though you're continuously seeing an image and then it skips, almost like a security cam feed, very similar to what your screen is showing right now.
Okay. Well, has he found a weapon?
We will let the fate decide. Okay. You notice that there are, for some reason in this store, survival knives behind locked glass.
Okay. Well, he'll break the glass.
All right. You now have 2 survival knives.
He'll take one and he'll turn to the girls and well, one already has a weapon. He'll hand
Do they?
he'll
How
hand the
many
blue haired
guns?
he'll hand the blue haired girl the other
To answer your question, Daja, to save you the roll, no. This is New York.
Okay. All right.
There's no firearms to be spoken of at the moment.
All right.
So Tyler takes one for him and hands the blue haired girl the other knife.
Yeah. She doesn't say anything. She just takes the knife and puts it in a pocket.
All right. Uno, dos, tres. Okay. Daja, make me a perception alertness roll, please.
Okay. There's my typical ones. I
it's not
missed
a
you.
failure. It's certainly not a botch. Um, as you're sort of moving and inspecting Daja, you hear kind of like this sound from behind the counter.
She's gonna look up over towards the counter.
You see a sort of like an old man laying on his side, his eyes looking like tiny little, or his pupils looking like tiny little dots in these bloodshot whites, and his fingers sort of clutched very tightly, almost looking like they're going through like a seizure. Like the muscles are in such spasm to the point where they've bent at such odd angles you can almost, even with your sort of slightly above average medical training, you can tell that those fingers look like they're snapped. And the way that they're trembling, likely culprit being the muscles in a very, very painful spasm.
She's gonna poke over at one of the two of them and then motion and nod towards the man behind the counter in case they didn't notice.
All right. Naomi and Tyler, Dasha has pointed out to you a person in a very sore state.
Naomi will tentatively head towards this man. You okay? And Naomi will reach out and use Law of Awakenings, touch him, and use Law of Awakenings 3 if he'll let it.
Yeah, go for it. He's in no position to stop you.
3 successes.
All right. 3 successes. You notice that the fingers on his hands pop back into joint and his muscles relax. And as that light comes off of you and filters into his body, it does seem to put his body at ease. However, when you move your hand away, he immediately begins to seize up again, and you hear the cracking of bones and what sounds like the tearing of ligaments as he goes into another fit. And his eyes never change. They're constantly these maddened, manic-looking eyes.
I'll use perception awareness to see if I can detect anything. Like the source of this. Or to see if there is a magical source.
Okay, go for it.
Two successes.
Nothing you can really put a finger on. There's definitely something wrong, but it's ambient. Almost like the area around you is giving off more of a sensation than this old man is, as far as something being amiss.
There's something wrong that's hurting this guy. Maybe it's what crazy bitch was talking about. Not much I can do for him. I don't think.
Does it look like he's just got broken fingers and stuff? He's not gonna like bleed out and die?
No, there's no physical trauma to him other than what his muscles are doing to himself. In a medical trained sense, he looks like somebody who's currently in the midst of like a grand mal seizure.
Yeah. That she'll know. So just try to make sure that she can put enough pillow-related things or something soft, around head and any of the body parts that may be spazzing out. Just kind of time down, and then get on with it after she's made him as comfortable as she can.
You have a couple of options. There are, in the back, there is an office. There's a set of stairs that go down and a set of stairs that go up.
Well, all the bad things always go down. I'd probably opt for down, but
Naomi and Tyler?
Um,
Safety in numbers.
yeah. Tyler will say, yeah, he'll say, my guess is down.
Yep.
All right.
I will lead the way.
All right. Down, down, down you go. You go down the stairwell, which is set up like an L. You're going down the tail end of the L on the bottom side, and the longer part is what you have to turn to go down. As you go down, you notice that the wood seamlessly blends into what looks to be some sort of organic creep. Almost something hive-like. Almost, to put a description on that most of you will know, Zerg.
I was about to say it's a Zerg nest.
And when you step in, the area becomes much wider. And it comes into what looks to be a chamber like what you see before you.
She's gonna look at it and just be like, this is some fucked up shit.
Fuck. Yeah. Can I roll perception awareness to see if this is the source of the bad?
You wouldn't need to at this point. You can tell fairly clearly that this, whatever this is, it is the wrong.
So we're supposed to break this? Guess.
I guess.
And to be honest, unless you can hack it to death with a knife, I'm of the second house. What am I going to do? Breathe it to death? What can you guys?
Would you guys like to take a look around?
Yeah.
All right. Eeny, meeny, miny. Hot diggity damn. Daja. Seems to be that the D4
Yeah.
likes you today.
Me and ones.
Daja, make me a perception awareness roll.
Two.
With 2, when you look around and you see the various bone-like structures and this pulsing organic substance that sort of squashes under each foot that you put on top of it, you follow sort of these web-like secretions that form this superstructure. And you follow it back to the pillar with these glowing, sort of amber-looking pods. Or crystals. It's hard to say exactly which is without getting up close to it. It's about 15 feet from top to bottom. But every time that you feel sort of that rippling effect, like you did when you tried to escape this place, you notice that the amber crystals sort of give off a pulse each time that happens. And you can roll me a perception alertness check if you want. Difficulty 8.
2.
You notice with each ripple that a bit more of the wood on the stairs and the walls leading up the stairwell, maybe an inch or two, disappears.
Oh, shit.
This is... Oh, God. Some shit straight out of fucking Aliens, man. Goddamn arthropods, like, they should have just stopped when it was done right. They needed to make those fuckers anyway.
And as you are saying that, lo and behold, eeny, meeny, miny, not me. Naomi, roll me Dex Athletics.
Hmm. Three successes.
With 3 successes, something moves up underneath your feet, and you raise about that full 15 feet upwards, about 12 feet in total, so you have enough room to crouch. And you are currently on the head or the crown of this gigantic arthropod, who seemed to take exception to what Daja had to say about arthropods.
Yeah, fuck. And it, like, okay, now's not a time to pussyfoot about, and we'll go apocalyptic form, I think, if fighting a giant, or if dealing with a giant weird lizardy thing.
We'll talk after the scene. You definitely have an idea. I'll give you that. Of the asshole that made arthropods.
Taking my work and fucking it up.
Okay. So let's disease. You're currently on top of this gigantic bug. You have one action to make. What do you do?
He will, in fact, put his hand on it and use Torment, Law of Awakenings. That shit.
Okay. Take yourself a nice point of temporary torment there, buddy.
Yep.
And I know what you're going to do because I've done it many times myself. Go ahead and roll them bones.
Yep. Yet. Yeah. I'm going to add my faith as a dice pool. Which I can
How much?
I can do that once per day for each thrall, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's another 3 dice. Wow.
Where were all those rolls when you were, on death's doorstep?
Yeah.
That's 1, 2, how many?
I believe it's difficulty 5. I'm just going to check.
Do you have enhanced ability in your APOC form?
I have enhanced physical abilities.
Enhanced physical attributes, but not difficulty reduction?
But no, I believe that the law is straight difficulty 5.
Ah.
I'm just
Let
checking.
me double check. I actually have that up right here. Lore of Awakenings.
No, it's not.
Difficulty 6.
Difficulty 6.
Yeah, so that's still quite a bit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of stamina lost.
This thing drops to the ground and starts convulsing.
I can make, because I have wings, I'm not going to be injured by that fall, I assume.
You wouldn't have been injured by that fall either way. It's not high enough for you to really take any damage. You might have scuffed your knees, but yeah. Given that this thing was literally inside a room, you would have been fine either way.
Okay.
Your wings certainly do help. However, you start to feel and you can see things moving along the creep now from the far side of the room, making their way towards you as this center column begins to pulse more. You sort of hear this vroom, vroom, and it begins to pick up in intensity and speed. Daja?
Well, I suppose I should probably pop something then, shouldn't I?
Might be a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do the normal form first. It has been a while, so I need to roll what just to go into my low torment version?
You can either spend a point of faith, or you can roll your faith.
Let's roll my faith first.
Alright.
Give me 1 minute here. DC is 6, yeah?
Yep.
Well, nope.
You can spend if you wish at this point.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright. So you take on your low torment form. You begin to shimmer with the distortions of water. Your features become more ethereal and absolutely breathtaking. Your voice seems to echo with the sound of song, and you are able to understand the motivations of creatures and beings far better than you could otherwise.
Yeah, basically it kind of ends up shifting around. Like you see when you first look at it, almost as if it were something like a squid or an octopus would, in the sense that the colors kind of shimmer and change around with the rest of the surroundings. It flickers through all the different sets of colors. It looks like different things that you would desire when you look towards it. As a demon, in your case, it's almost like you see it flicker, like, you know, like when you watch something on a television screen and it kind of flicks in and out, like static in a sense between like two different pictures, but it's everything that your human character would have ever desired or found attractive until you look away again, and then it's shifted into something else that you find attractive. So it's going to be different for both of you in there. The eyes are metallic silver, just consistently swirling and changing and piercing through. And if she talks at all again, it ends up sounding like almost like a Greek chorus of voices where they've got the multiple echoes and different, like, you know, whispers of all these voices coming at the same time.
All right.
And
what are you gonna do?
well, that does all my nice non-combat stuff. I probably need to pop a high torment in order to get some of my combat stuff.
Yeah, you could do that. You also got a knife in your hand.
Sure. Well, let's do that first, and then we'll go from there. But oh wait, no, maybe let's just try and talk this fucker down first.
Well, the creature's down. Creature's convulsing, spastically. However, there is that thing in the center of the room.
Yeah. All right, let's slither on over to that and stab the fuck out of it. That sounds good.
All right, make me a dex melee.
Stabbing things always works, right? Dex and melee's gonna be so bad. I don't have any bonuses right now. No, I don't.
I will also.
Boom! One.
All right, roll me your damage. Yes, Nelson.
Yeah, Tyler will also take his low torment form.
Surprisingly enough, low torment is actually your low damage form. All right, Daja, you get 2 successes. Yes.
Strength +1 on this switchblade.
All right. Well, you do 2 points of damage on it. You notice a crack form in the center, and you can definitely tell that these are crystals, not eggs, when you're up that close to it. And you see a crack form. Congratulations, you have 8 more points to go. And
Well, Tyler will go at it with his knife.
you would also like to stab the pillar in the center of the room?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
So it's strength. No, 30.
Dex plus melee.
4. Wait.
This you can probably turn your camera back for because we know it's not your camera that's the issue, your bandwidth. It's a hardware issue.
No, yeah, that's right. Sorry. No, wait. That was still. So that's.
Need your camera back.
Wait.
Turn your bandwidth back up, please.
Yeah, sorry. There we go.
Otherwise, I can't see your dice roll.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, nice roll. Oh. Jeez, that's the fuck out of it.
Okay, roll your damage, which is strength +1 plus your extra successes.
So it's plus 1, 2, 4, 5.
It'll be strength +6 for you.
What? Oh shit, that's a big roll. The ones counting damage are you?
Ones do take away from damage, yes.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's nothing then.
So you take your knife, you flip it around in your hand, and you go in that ice pick motion down onto the crystals, and your knife sort of deflects off at an odd angle. And when you do that, something pops out of the creep, and it will go for eeny, meeny, miny, Naomi, or Shalistices.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This creature is wanting to attack you from behind
Okay.
as it comes out of the creep. Ouch. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Claws do +1 in demon. So strength +1. +3. So that's 4, 1, 5, 8 dice of lethal. Alright. Roll me your soak for 3 lethal.
Soaked.
So yes, your armor glints as deep rivets are cut into it, but it does not pass by your armor, and this creature with the hideous maw and claws sits there and chatters at you as it bares its teeth at you and slobbers and makes horrible noises. And it is now your turn, Naomi.
Naomi will try and also attack the console-y thing in the middle.
Okay.
She has no melee. Well, I'm just going to do it anyway.
Are you currently in your low or high torment form?
Low torment form. Two successes on the attack roll.
Okay. It is your strength plus 2.
Four.
Oh, this could be interesting. Well, you hit it hard enough that it certainly knows it's been hit. Your
The machine I was hitting, not the thing that attacked me.
yeah, you've oh, you're going for the pillar in the center of the room.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that is a total of 6 damage on it then. Not bad. Not bad at all. Daja, it is up to you again.
Alright, let's clear that one off. What do I have to do to pop one of the high torment ones?
Invoke a point of temporary torment, and you can have one of your lovely extra torment abilities for one payout.
Yeah, let's do that because that'll speed this up.
Okay.
I think. So let me put that point of temporary torment on there. As she goes from being more like this, octopus type set of a beast, like you just see her start to froth a little bit more at the mouth through this lovely figure and just looks at the stupid arthropod and it's like, I hate your kind. We were fine the way we were. And then ends up the skin on her body just thickens and shifts from this tentacle set as if it were growing out of her mouth instead. And she shifts into a much more gruesome set of a beast. And I'm going to activate the claws and teeth, strength 2 plus ag damage. Strength plus 2. And now she's going to go at it with...
You have extra limbs, so you can actually take 2 attacks.
It says plus 2 full attacks per turn. 1, 2, 3. Alright, cool. So that's still just dex and melee, right?
Actually, it would be Dex Brawl.
Dex Brawl. Alright.
So you're using your arm, well, your tendrils at this point.
Okay, well there's 1. So, it is going to be strength plus 2. Boop, boop. So there's 2 ag.
You cut into it, and it cannot soak ag, so you slash into it with your ag-dealing suckers.
Yep. And then the second one, she's going to go ahead here and reach in with the tentacled mouth, just spreading them from here and opening up and seeing this beaky part as it goes in towards the target.
Nice.
3, so that gives me another 2. So 1, 2 plus my strength plus the 2. Wait, it doesn't count. So it just does another 1 then. Yeah.
It's not looking healthy. I can tell you that. Your beak snaps into it, and you tear away a chunk of flesh. Make me a stamina roll.
Just straight stamina.
Just straight stamina.
Suck at that.
That's a botch.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
Aja, this creature's flesh, when you bite into it, it reacts by sort of latching on into your beak, and parts of it sort of snake down to the back of your tongue as if for the brief moment you have it in your mouth, it's still living, and it begins to dissolve. And when it does that, that gunk that it turns into filters down the back of your throat, and
Tastes like ass.
it tastes terrible. And all you can do for for the rest of this round and next round is gag and throw up.
I will strategically throw up on it.
Okay. Let's see. It's Razavelius.
Yes. Well, I'll activate my pose as well then.
All right. Take a point of temporary torment.
Okay, and so what that adds plus strength, is it? And it does aggravate damage.
Yes, they do. They do a nice little bit of aggravated damage. What are you attacking?
He'll attack the creature that came out of the thing.
Okay.
So that's brawl plus integrity. If he's going to
Textbook
attack.
brawl.
Come on. Oh shit.
I see a handful of ones.
No, but all the other successes, so I can have successes.
Hey, it's something. So it's going to be your strength plus 3.
Come on, dash rolls. Oh, now he 4 successes.
Oh my. How do you do it?
He'll he'll go and like with his claws grab the thing's head and just as in one movement grab it and keep going and like he does it kill it? He kills it, does he, or
Oh yeah, you
yeah, he'll
done.
in one movement his hand will go grab his head and just rip it off.
All right. So in essence, what it sounds like to me, Razavelius sort of wishbones this thing by digging its claw into its skulls and ripping it, or its skull and ripping it into 2 different directions.
Yeah.
Sounds gruesome and amazing, and I like it. So yeah, you rip this thing apart, and its halves fall to the ground, sort of trembling as they begin to dissolve. It makes out a vicious howl before its trachea is torn asunder, and it makes just these very loathsome gurgles. And the creep sort of bulges and pulsates again as another creature pops out in front of... not me. Daja! This thing is coming for you.
It senses my hate.
It does sense your hate. They took exception to...
There is a +2 DC to range and a +1 DC to melee attack, as my distortion basically shifts me in and out of the colors like an octopus would.
That's right. So it gets 1 on you, and I will roll... You can soak ag in that form.
What?
So you've got 3 ag to soak.
I am rolling stamina. Oh, I
Add
did
4
much
to
better.
that. Add 4.
Add
Well,
four?
it's 4 dice total that you can roll for that. I will take that roll, though. So, sorry about that. Yeah, it's the 4 dice, because it's like wearing armor.
I was gonna say I've got 4 stamina in the first place, so.
Yeah, it's just the 4 extra. Those 4 dice are specifically geared towards stoking ag, or you can add them when you're stoking lethal. This, however, is ag. two
There's another
successes. So you take one.
Wait,
The
I
extra-
roll.
Well, there's
Yeah.
extra 4 dice. I was wrong. The 4 dice you have specifically from Shark's Hide is
Yeah.
for soaking egg. The
Mhm.
extra 4 stamina don't count. That's only if you're.
Okay,
soaking
so I
egg.
rolled the correct number in the first place.
Yes, you did right, Vinny did wrong. Happens from time to time. So you take 1 egg as this thing pops out of the creep and slashes at you and mouths something along in some guttural language that you don't understand, but with your enhanced empathy, it seemed to really.
Actually, I understand all languages because I have the first dot in Lore of Humanity. I have 2 dots in Lore of Humanity.
Yeah, this language doesn't register on your Lore of
Oh.
Humanity. This is a very foreign language. And so it, at least from the empathy, you can tell that this thing is probably saying something akin to arthropods are fine, it is you who is wrong. Something like that. It seems to have taken exception to being told it is a improper being. And we are back to the top of the round. Daja?
Puking on it, right?
Yeah, you're puking on it, so you are. We'll go to Shalistices.
No, to try and smash the thing in the middle.
Okay.
Fail. Continue.
Okay. Razavelius, you have the Zergling creature, and it is currently hacking away at Daja, and you have the pillar in the center of the room.
They'll go through or every time they call something else comes out, they'll go through the thing in the middle. Hello?
Can you repeat that because you completely broke up?
Okay. He'll go for the thing in the middle.
Alright. Roll them bones. Please turn your camera back on so I can see your dice rolls, please.
So he's in his line, he's like comment form. 4, 6. One, 2, 3 successes.
Alright, so you're using your claws.
Yep.
So it'll be your strength plus 4. And I am going to double check on that for you, Daja. Extra limbs, second set of arms. Block hand to hand without sacrificing energy.
Extra limbs, you can make additional attacks, but they count as multiple actions, so you'd be splitting a dice pool.
You may make up to 2 additional attacks of her own per turn at the character's full dice pool.
Boom, it says full attacks here.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's nicer than some of the stuff in other games. They're much nicer.
And Robert Dolius hurts it.
The Lore of Awakenings one says with a split dice pool, fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Razavelius, your claws bite into the surface of this pillar in the center. And the crystal inside cracks. And this fissure begins to spiderweb out. And you hear cracking, crackling, 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 and then it snaps. A huge chunk of it falls off. And nothing happens at first. Everything just kind of goes silent. And then you begin to feel as though you're being pulled towards it. And the creep itself is beginning to revert back into it, but you also feel your own limbs that are very close to it being drawn into this small hole.
Oh, shit. Yeah, well, he'll try and, well, fly away.
Alright, make me your Dex Athletics, and I will tell you whether or not you make it.
One success. Wait, no. Yeah.
Two?
Oh,
Okay. Your camera went off, but I'll take the two.
yeah, right.
Daja and Naomi, could you also do the same for me, please?
What am I rolling?
Dex Athletics, as this thing that you have cracked open is making sort of a singularity.
6 successes.
Where was that? All over the past course of the
5.
past month.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Because I'm not paying attention right now, because it's 3 a.m.
I know, I'm sorry. The three of you, Daja and Naomi, the two of you, Daja, you throw your tendrils out and they stick onto the wall and you're able to pull yourself back up the stairwell. Shalistices, you wrap your wings once, twice, 3 times, and you are able to pull yourself away and land in a crouch just below Daja. And Rosavelius, you struggle with everything you've got, and you feel like you're just on the cusp of being dragged back in, but you manage to actually, with a final flap of your wings, you sort of launch yourself away from the singularity. And you watch as the comatose Zergling, the attacking Zergling, and whatever that creature was before, they are all drawn back into this and into this hole. And Shalistices, you see that dark star field, those stars of utter blackness, just through that gaping hole as it begins to grow larger and larger as it is sucking everything that is wrong back into itself before closing up. And the light in the room seems to come back, and you are standing in just a standard basement.
Except I'm a big tentacly thing. So once,
You are
yeah,
immediately.
yeah. So once things start to go back to normal, she's gonna go ahead and probably shift back down to a slightly less tormented version as that shimmers and flickers, and then shifts back from that into her actual, street self. Just with a little bit more of a injury this time, probably still underneath the jacket, probably bleeding a little bit.
You feel that sense of wrongness gone. And as the three of you are left to your devices to be able to leave, just in the interest of time for everyone who's very, very late, I am going to close this up with one last chance dice. Naomi, make me a perception and alertness. Difficulty 8.
Fail.
Fail. Okay. You don't notice anything. The three of you will make your way back out. The store owner starting to come to. He seems a bit groggy, but he doesn't notice the three of you leaving his store. He doesn't notice that the glass case where he keeps the knives is broken. And he doesn't notice Layla standing out just inside his door, smoking a cigarette, to debrief a lot of you. in the course of the next few days, Layla will explain her plans to you, her concerns and the troubles with what is going on. And as the three of you leave in the basement, a single figure steps forth from the shadows and looks up at the stairwell and rubs their chin, thinking, well, now things are certainly getting interesting.